Well, here at last, my dear friends, on the shores of the River Stow, comes the end of our friendship on New Wessex. Allow me to go in peace. I will not say do not weep, for not all tears are an evil.
I don't want you to go.
And had I any choice in the matter, I too would choose to stay. But alas, my dear friends, like a warm summer's eve, it must end. All must come to pass, even immovable landmarks such as myself.
Don't, I'm welling up, bride. I can't cope without you, bride. What will become of us?
You will grow old, and one day you'll impart all the knowledge and experience you've gained on the new engines, just like I have for you.
I didn't think it would end for you like this, bride.
End? No. The journey doesn't end here, my dear. Death is just another path, one we must all take.
You're like a mother to us. What will we do without you?
If I truly were like a mother, my sons, you will know what to do. Farewell, my brave friends. My work is now finished.
I wish I'd seen it in Shaw. I wish he'd come to me for help. I wish I'd listened to Stan and Hercules and had more time to help. But the summer specials were right around the corner, and soon the island was going to be inundated with holidaymakers, not just staying on the island, but going to the docks to get on ships to faraway places. It was the morning of a particularly rainy summer's day, and I was making my way down to the station at Castle Stavel when I spotted a large green engine waiting in the platform. Alfred! Oh, hello, sir. What can I do for you? Nothing. I hear it's your last day of gauging trials. Yes, it is, sir. Give me some good news? Well, it sounds like everything is good to go. All the track and infrastructure upgrades Shaw did last year have ensured I've got no issues coming up and down here. Excellent. I can phone Henry and BR and let them know my plans are still on target then. That's brilliant news. Why Mr. Dexby and BR? I'm borrowing Bexford and Manchester for a while over the summertime to run special trains to and from Stowmouth docks. You're going to need all the help you can get. We've got a Pullman contract among other things to keep on top of, you know. Are they staying for the entire summer? Well, yes, that's the idea anyway. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. It won't be all play, Alfred. We've got a busy summer season to get through. Now, may I have a lift down to Stowmouth? Of course. My driver might even let you drive me. Let's not get too hasty, shall we, Alfred? I climbed aboard and we set off down the line. Alfred was right. Shaw's work over the previous summer had allowed for heavier, longer trains to run, and as tests were concluding, showed that even engines such as Alfred could run too. As we made our way down the line, things were just about normal in Stowmouth sheds. I don't see why he has to come down the line. Why can't I do it? Because he's an express passenger loco, bringing an express passenger train from London? Yeah, and? You are not an express passenger loco, are you? No, but I do actually belong on this line. That's debatable. Been here longer than you. That doesn't mean anything. Alfred has done more for the island in his short time here than you ever will. Of course you'd stand up for him, being another one of Lord Stavel's private engines and all. Some of us worked hard to get where we are. Ouch. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some work to do. Make sure it's actually yours this time and not Rook's. Yeah, you sneer away. At least I helped him in his hour of need. More like helping yourself to his work in his time of need. Do one, Ben. Oh good, here comes his fatness now. Alfred and I's arrival interrupted the two engines' arguments, and Shaw scuttled away to the yard to take the first of his long goods trains to the junction. Alfred stopped at the platform, drawing much attention to himself as he did so. Well, Alfred, I hope you have a successful morning, and I'll see you later when you return from London. Thank you, sir. I hope you have a good day too. We shall see, Alfred. I've got to see Edgar about something. I swear if he's broken something on his first passenger runs, I'm going to do something to him. I walked away, ready to tear Edgar a new one, whilst Alfred sidled down to the dock platform. He paused for a while before he got permission to go back up the line. Soon the signal dropped and he made his way back up the bank into Stonemouth town. He had to wait in the centre road as Ben propelled his train to the platform next to him. Oh, hello, Alfred. Ben, how's it going? You know, the usual, fighting with Shaw and the like. You still on bad terms then? I'll only forgive him when he admits what he did and that it was wrong. That could take a while though. Might it not be too late by then? No? He might have made his mind up by the time you come round to forgiving him. That's all I'm saying. He insulted you today. Aye, fuck him. Just then the station master came up to them.
Alright lads. Not a lot we can do right now, but Shaw is stalled on the hill towards Castle Stavel. In this weather, he's just slipped to a stand.
Oh dear, how sad. He's making a habit of this.
Alfred, we don't know what's going to happen with you, as you can't get to Alfredston via Moorland Road, as you know.
Bloody gauging issues. Take it that means I can toddle off.
Not right now, no. We need Alfred to...
Oh no, I see where this is going.
To go bank
Shaw up the hill. There it is, what a surprise.
It's the only way to get you back to Alfredston in time for the Wyvern.
Alright, I'm going. Alfred blasted off towards the stricken Shaw who was sat at the bottom of the incline, arguing.
They're sending a banker from Stonemouth.
I don't need a banker for God's sake, just chuck some sand down on the rails and I'll be fine.
We're not going to be taking any chances. You know what happened last...
Oh, this is ridiculous. There isn't even anyone down there other than Rook, and he isn't getting out of the docks anytime soon, so... oh no. Alfred soon arrived and buffered up to the back of Shaw's train. Nope, I'm not moving until he goes away.
Your funeral. They'll just push you up the hill.
Oh, for goodness sake. Shaw, having seen the signal clear, decided he was going to go for it himself, surprising Alfred and the signaller. He accelerated hard, and having had enough time to build his boiler pressure up, he blasted his way up the hill, this time with no issue.
Well, that was unexpected. I better ring Lord Stavel. You wait here and obey signals.
Alright mate, thanks. Shaw was now making up for lost time, and soon he was rolling into Retford Junction. There in the siding next to him was Windsor.
Hello, lovely boy.
Windsor, good morning.
Morning. Morning is it?
As far as I'm aware.
You've got to be careful, lovely boy. Don't want to be late too often, not when I'm taking over this here train.
I had a small issue on the bank up to Castle Stavel, that's all.
Ah, yes, we all know about you and the inclines and the rain. You're making quite a habit of this, lovely boy.
I'm sure your efficient army methods will get this train back on time. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to the sheds.
Ah, yes, as you were.
Shaw left the train and made his way towards the shed, where Wyvern and Hardwick were stood talking. Hello, Wyvern. Bride? Excuse me? Oh, sorry, Hardwick. I thought... Oh, don't worry, mate.
That's what you get for looking the same.
Shut up, Wyvern. Oh, look, there's Alfred. He's a little late. What happened down the line, Shaw? Don't start. I stall once on a hill towards Castle Stavel and they roll me back to the bottom on false pretences that I'd be able to have another go. But nope, they bring him up to push. Apparently they don't trust me after what happened last time. What happened last time? Nothing happened last time.
That sounds like a mystery that needs solving.
You investigate any further into that and I'll personally ensure you get dunked in the sea.
Joke's on you. I'm into that. I've done it before.
Ew. Ew. An awkward silence followed this as they hid from the rain. The day drew on slowly. Shaw returned to Stomouth later in the afternoon. If he was expecting to be out of the way, he had another thing coming. I'd been informed of his little theatrics at the bottom of the bank, and I was none too pleased. And unluckily for him, I was still in Stomouth, and was already in a bad mood. I don't know what I expected to happen today, Shaw, but this wasn't it. It's bad enough that I've had to just help Edgar deal with a derailment, but for you to just go off like that? What happened if you'd slipped again and gone back down the bank and crashed into Alfred? He'd have been out of service for the entire bloody summer season. But I didn't. I managed quite nicely. That's not the point, Shaw. When the summer passenger traffic begins, you'll be taken off goods duties and we'll be banking trains up the Ink Line from Stomouth to Stow-Tor. What? But sir, I can work. I proved it today. I want to work. You may have proved you can work, but you've proved you can't listen to orders or respect railway safety. If a member of staff says you need a banker, you need a banker. It's not rocket science. If you can't understand that, then it's about time you learnt. I turned on my heel and left. Shaw seethed in anger and grief. He spoke to no one else that day and slept in the goods shed down by the dock. The week dragged on, and soon the day of the return of Bexford and Manchester arrived. I'd called an excited Alfredston to Repford Shed where I could go over the plans one final time with him, Stan and Dave in the same place. Thank you for coming this morning. I know I've been through this with you multiple times, but I wanted to ensure we're all of the same understanding. How could we forget, sir?
I've been having dreams about this plan. That's how ingrained into my smoke box it is, and I'm still not sure why I'm included. I know I'm using this shed, but I'm not really supposed to be at your disposal.
Yes, Dave, I understand that, but luckily for you, you are at my disposal. Manchester Cathedral is currently allocated to the Midland region, filling in after that awful crash at Harrow and Wealdstone left them down a Pacific.
Oh, so you've managed to worm your way into justifying my use on trains that have originated from the Midland region?
Something like that, yes. Figures. As you know, Alfred here is going to be one of 3 cathedrals running services along the branch to Stomouth Marine, in conjunction with Samarinian lines. We're pulling out all the stops. Trains will run to Stomouth Marine and then once unloaded the service reverses to Alfriston via Moorland Road. Again, as you know, cathedrals are not cleared to use that line. Too fat for the tunnel, aren't you, Alfred? Not my fault it was built for horse and carts. Indeed. These services from Stomouth to Alfriston will be in charge of either one of you. Maybe both in some cases. These trains aren't going to be small affairs. This is where Shaw comes in. He'll be the dedicated banker for the duration of the summer timetable. I bet he's loving that concept. He knows his job, whether he likes it or not is irrelevant. Sir, it's only just occurred to me, if he's banking, who's taking his goods trains? That would be Windsor.
Oh, good.
Bexford and Manchester arrived this morning with express services to Alfriston. Make the most of today to do any catching up you want to do, Alfred. It's going to be a busy summer. I'm sure you'll all rise to the challenge. I turned on my heel and left, the 3 engines dispersing to continue their jobs for the day. Alfred heading back to Alfriston to eagerly await the arrival of his brothers. He was dozing nicely in the roundhouse a little later that morning when he was awoken by arguing coming from the station. You've got no right to be stealing my trains, you princess imposter.
Well, it's too late now, isn't it? I'm here, the train's here. I don't know what your problem is.
It's a Midland Region Express. Can't believe they allowed you to bring it in. They could have at least got me to come out and collect the train from Cardiff, instead of getting you to do it. That is where you took over the train, isn't it?
No. Try Manchester.
What? You mean to say you've brought the train all the way?
Yes, Trafford Park Shed. You heard of it?
Aye, of course. What Manchester was going to say was lost as the argument was interrupted by the arrival of a train headed by yet another cathedral, carrying the handsome express passenger blue livery. Alfred, who at this time had already got himself out of the roundhouse and into the sidings, beamed as his twin, Bexford Cathedral, careered into the station. The three locos converged on the pilot sidings. Manchester! How good it is to see you here. Welcome back to Samarinia.
What about me?
What about you? You're here every other day.
Oh, some welcome I get.
Yeah, and don't you forget it. How goes the frozen north, Midland invader?
Perfectly reasonable, thanks, Alfred. I've been doing a lot of running on the Mancunian Express lately. That's been fun.
Do you have any trouble with the Midland engines up there?
Not that much. Some friendly banter here and there, but you know, I give as good as I get.
It's not as clear cut here, unfortunately. We've got a few tame Midlanders shacked up at Repford, but the main lot are up at New Harlech, and you just had the delight of meeting the leader of that particular group.
Doesn't bode well for the rest of them, then.
We only tolerate them. They bring some extra revenue to the island, so you just have to ignore them.
Enough of this depresso Midland talk. I want to get all the gossip I don't usually hear when I'm here.
The three locos began chatting away, sharing stories, gossip, and news of their respective railways.
I do have one question to ask you, though, Alfred.
Yeah? What would that be?
What in the name of sanity is the colour of your paint?
Ah, yes, there it is.
I mean, the blue that Bexford is wearing is nice and at the very least prototypical. But that's green. There's a reason Exeter got rid of it as soon as he could, you know.
Look, man, I thought it was fun at the time, but nope. I've just got an abuse, and the amount of funny looks I get at Old at Common.
Come to the dark side, Alfred, and become blue.
Or, you know, be a proper shade of green like everyone else.
Believe me, if I could, I would.
So why not do it?
Stovey says there's no money to justify my repaint. Even if there was, there's no time now, what with the huge summer season coming to a start.
That's my bloody siding. They've got all of the roundhouse, the yard, heck, even the island, but nope. They sit in my siding. Sorry, siding, I'm the distance pilot. I won't be coming in.
Oh, he's still here then.
Just ignore him. Makes life a lot easier.
He does have a point, though. We are in his way.
Alright then, should we go into the shed?
One issue with that. There's only room for one of us in there.
You mean to tell me they still haven't upgraded the shed so they can fit more than one of us in at a time?
Something like that, yeah. They were just going to suggest something else when a black tank engine raced into the station.
I knew it was you. Bexford, take me home. Who the fuck? It's me, you moron. Wyvern. Oh, hello, Wyvern. I forgot you were here. What have they done to you? It's my original livery. I got them to give it to me whilst I'm here. I don't like it. Your blue matches the colour of the sea. They'd never find you. Yes, it's definitely you. How could I mistake that crazy waffling for anyone else?
What the shit? How come you've been repainted?
Mr. Dexby sent some money down to get me repainted, considering I've now been stuck here for months.
How come an insane tank engine that takes naps on the main line at Repford and thinks that coal wagons constitute a normal conversation partner has gotten a repaint and I haven't?
I'm more sane than at least half the other engines. They just don't appreciate how clever I am. Of course they don't, Wyvern. It's quiet back home without your hourly outbursts of insanity. Well, that stops today. When are you going back? I need to get myself ready to go. At the end of the summer season. Excellent. I'll just go get my... Wait. Hang on. The end of the summer season. Oh yes, I'm here for a couple of months at least, Wyvern. You've got to be kidding me. I just freshened this cyclamen at Redford for nothing. What am I supposed to do with his family now? Wyvern, what have you done? Nothing. Go return your hostages, you psycho. What a joke. Can't even take a hostage without being put down.
Wyvern grumbled away.
All work, no play. Stupid fat castles. If I can go back to Swindon, you smelly fucker.
I'm not going to ask.
Yeah, it's best you don't.
That brings us back to our original point. Where should we go where we aren't in the way, but we can sit and have a good chat?
The only place I can think of is up at New Harlech. I noticed their sheds were looking fairly empty, so there's plenty of room for us three.
Oh, we'll have some fun up there if you want.
Oh, come on then.
I want to see Captain Flapface in person. A chunker and Fat told me all about him.
You just missed him. He was in a bad mood because I'd brought in a Midland train. Winding him up a bit more could be fun.
These sidings are nice, though.
Oh, come on, let's go and have some fun.
The three cathedrals made their way to New Harlech, and as Alfred expected, Seaforth and Falkland jeered at them.
Hey, look, Seaforth. He's finally gone crackers. He thinks he's a princess.
You can't come in here. Midland shed only.
A Midland shed, is it? How convenient. I'm sure you lads will give me as warm a welcome as the lads up at Trafford Park did.
Alright, I should have specified. Actual Midland engines only, not some deranged westerner.
At best, this is an outpost, is it not? What is it, 3 of you based here?
Coming over here, stealing our work, stealing our sheds.
With that in mind, I'm sure that these fine Midland engines will let us stay here.
I said nothing of the sort.
I knew you would come round eventually. Settle in, lads. We've got a nice afternoon of chatting ahead of us.
Didn't you hear him? You're not welcome here. This is our shed.
Well, actually, this shed was built for the new Wessex and Mainland Joint Railway back before any of us were even thought of. It's still a shed that comes under Lord Savel's jurisdiction. You'd think you'd have more manners, be a bit more grateful he's allowing you to have your own space. Grateful? Manners? I've never heard such tosh in my entire life. Come on, Falkland. I'm going to Alfredston. Anything's better than being stuck here with these overgrown stars. Manchester and Bexford laughed as the two Midland engines scurried away.
Ha ha, right, that's those two dealt with. Now, to business. I've heard rumours that I'm not the youngest cathedral anymore.
Ha, yes. We have a new brother, 8023, Redwick Cathedral. A couple of years ago, a weird man from Oxfordshire hijacked my train at Manifeld Junction and came here to talk to Stovey. Not long after, Redwick emerged from Alfredston Works. He spent a little time here before being delivered to his railway.
Interesting. Another lucky private engine then.
Yes to the private, and I don't know about the lucky. He failed rather spectacularly on his express the same day I did, to a lesser extent.
Wait, you failed too?
Yeah, my inside motion snapped in half at high speed near Maidenhead. It was a massive farce. North Star had to drag me home that day. Don't think he's forgiven me.
So, not only did he fail, but you failed too. How did that happen? You don't think Alfredston Works messed up the parts, do you?
The Works used spare parts created for Redwick on me. Some crappy foundry on the mainland forged them. Weird choice, really. Just so happened that when I went for a light overhaul, I was given parts that were forged from the same material.
I've never had any issues, by the way.
Yeah, but you haul around six-wheelers all day. Not exactly taxing work, is it?
That can't be true.
Sometimes it's bogey coaches too. Shut up.
The three engines laughed and continued chatting. A little while later at Alfredston, Falkland and Seaforth were complaining loudly. How dare they talk to me like that? I've never been so disrespected in my life. What are you gibbering on about, Seaforth? Oh, Robert, hello there. Come on, out with it. That trio of overgrown stars.
I prefer to call them discount princesses.
Hold your wheesht. Okay, when you've decided to speak English, can you tell me what's going on?
The three cathedrals invaded our sheds, insulted us, and then forced us out.
The pain, the indignity. That Alfred is the worst of the lot.
It's about time someone brought them down a peg or two. Nip it in the bud before it gets ugly.
I think you're right. This is the opportunity I've been looking for. Leave it with me. Robert left the two Midland engines smirking at each other. Meanwhile, back at New Harlech.
Oh, man's it gonna be good to have a rest in my own shed. I'm knackered. Nope. God damn it.
The day continued, and eventually Alfred persuaded the other two to go explore the branch. In his words, they should at least go down the line before they do it in service the day after. A couple of trips up and down the branch seemed to suffice, and soon all three were waiting turns at the water tower in Stowmouth. Well, if I didn't think Stovey was balmy beforehand, I now really think he's crackers. Look at you lot. You're huge! Couple all you up and you've reached back to Repford.
Oh, how cute. A pocket-sized pannier.
I'll have you know I'm taller than Rook.
Yeah, but look at you. You look so tiny.
That's because you're abnormally large. Ignore Bexford, Ben. He's just used to his coaches being the same size as you.
I don't haul four-wheelers.
Alright, big guy, you keep believing that.
Honestly, you two are hopeless.
Right, Ben. I should probably introduce these two to you properly. Bexford you've seen before in passing, and Manchester, well, he's our younger brother. Built by Lord Stavel for BR and spends his time up in Midland territory schmoozing with princesses and duchesses.
You see, I'm just so good the Midland region can't manage without me.
Mr. Dexby can't do without me either, you know. How else would he run the Dexperian Wyvern?
Let's be real, he'd triple head hunters on it all the time if he could.
I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest.
Oh, I see what this is. It's middle child syndrome. What? Yes, I've worked it out. You've got Alfred, hard-working, successful, takes point duty and finds boundaries. Then there's Manchester, the youngest, gets away with everything, doesn't really give a crap. And then there's you, Bexford, the middle child. Just kind of exists a vibe, but wants to prove they aren't in the shadow of their older sibling, and bully small tank engines.
In my defence, Wyvern slapbacks are a lot less intelligent and coherent.
Already, hell, I didn't realise I'd made a wrong turn coming up from the docks. Suddenly I've ended up in Old Oak Common.
They're multiplying.
Are you sure you three want to be stood in the same area? You might sink in the ground. Even with Shaw's track upgrades. Especially with his track upgrades. Hush, Ben, that's not nice.
The real test of his maintenance skills will be after the summer season ends and we're all gone. What state the track is in after such constant use will be a big tell.
I'm sure it'll be more than sufficient. It's managed to take you three already. Just wait till there's been a summer of heavy trains. Talking of Shaw, have you lot heard about his punishment for what happened earlier this week? Punishment? Has he not said anything to you lot? He doesn't really say much these days, to be honest. Oh, well maybe I shouldn't say anything then. No, I want to hear this now.
Ooh, this sounds juicy.
Oh, well, okay. Lostavel told me he's being relegated to banking duties at Stowborough during the summer season. Banking duties? Is Stovey having a laugh? What about the freight? Never mind that. Surely putting Shaw on banking duties is literally the worst decision he can make. How so? It's not like he has a good track record for going up hills. He stalled on Stowborough Bank, needed rescuing, stalls on Castle Bank and should have been rescued. Now he's going to bank trains up those gradients.
Stovey isn't the brightest bulb, is he?
This is the man that buys ballast from a quarry 200 miles away, instead of the one literally less than 50 miles from here.
Bruh.
Not saying it's wrong, as Dexby Ballast is superior in every way and definitely is the only option for any railway worth their salt.
I'd call it a learning exercise. He screwed up going up hills. Now at least he'll be forced to learn to be respectful of gradients and the challenges they provide. You expect him to take it as that and not just sulk for 4 months. If he knew what was best for him, he would. I can't sit here listening to this. You lot are so nasty about him. Rook, he's a bad egg. Redeemable, but still a bad egg. He needs to learn what he did was wrong and he needs to apologise. What for? He hasn't done anything wrong. Have you forgotten the 9 months of sitting in this shed being fed complete and utter twaddle by him whilst he did all your work and stopped the rest of us from seeing you? I'm not listening to this. Rook ran out of the shed and back towards the yards.
Phew. Right educated that one, isn't he?
One day I'll get him to see just what Shaw did to him.
Going on a crusade against him might not be helping, though.
Oh yeah, and you'd know how.
Ben, if there's one thing I've learned being a Dexby engine, it's that unity is always strong. Our fleet is huge, diverse, and crazy. I mean, look at Wyvern. But there's one thing we have is unity. Common goals that bring us together. This railway will suffer. The longer this divide goes on, the larger it becomes.
So what you're saying is he needs to leave and we can all get back to normal?
No, that's not what I...
Thanks, Bexford. You've really helped.
But no.
See you guys later. Don't break any bridges or anything. We won't, as long as you don't go burning bridges. Ben grumbled out of the yard, leaving the three Pacifics in silence. When he was out of earshot, they finally spoke.
Don't go burning bridges. That's ice cold, Alfred.
That was genuinely the best clapback I've heard.
Don't expect it to happen again. The three engines finished filling up on water and coal, preparing to return to New Harlech Shed. Here, on the eve of what would be the busiest summer season we'd ever seen, descent in the ranks seemed inevitable. But I hoped that having Shaw out of the way for a while would calm everyone's tempers, and allow for healing once the summer was over. How wrong could one man be?